Dani, what's up, bro?
Tyler, what's good, what's good?
Nothing much, man. Just sitting here drinking this fucking Irish coffee.
Irish coffee, damn. That sounds delicious right now. Shit.
It's like midday right now, and alright, so I have this coffee making kit, right? That I can take with me wherever I go. I just have to have hot water. And so I just took that and some low-fat milk, and then put that in the coffee, and then put some Jameson in there.
Nice.
Also, for anyone who's listening at the moment, comment your favorite hard liquor, right? I don't like hard liquors that much, but I like tequila usually. But I'm trying to learn how to like whiskey because it's like the classy drink. I'm mixing it with like a variety of things right now, and trying to see if I can learn to like whiskey because it does have a lot of potential because it does have a lot of flavor. I just want to learn to like the flavor.
Yeah, that sounds delicious to me. I mean, whiskey's good on me. Like Grant's a good one.
Grant's whiskey? Yeah, Grant's whiskey is good.
Yeah, it's like the best quality price relationship in terms of whiskey for me. It's pretty good. Yeah, and then there's the others like Jameson.
As long as it's not Heaven's Hill vodka.
Oh Jesus! I'm dying.
Just thinking about it, right? Just Heaven's Hill vodka, dude. It's gonna be the fucking entire bane of our existence. Like it's gonna be like a thing that keeps coming up in the podcast because it's just so gross.
It's the standard by which we compare every other alcohol in terms of grossness.
That is the low.
Yeah.
So you know how like fucking bros will be out there saying like, oh yeah, that girl's a 7, or like, oh that girl's a 3, or like girls will do the same thing, like, oh yeah, that guy's kind of a beta, that guy's kind of he's really alpha, he's really cool. You know, it's like Heaven's Hill vodka is kind of like our 0. Like it's the bottom.
Yeah.
Of what you can achieve with alcohol.
Exactly.
I think you could actually take sewer water and like leaves and ferment that shit, and then that actually would come out better if you distill that than Heaven's Hill vodka. Just take like a ladle and just scoop out sewer water and just like put it in with like a fucking handful of mint leaves or something. You could probably get like a more delicious mixture than Heaven's Hill vodka. I'm fairly certain.
Yeah, there's a reason why it's not on the bottom shelf. It's because it's basically rubbing alcohol in a 1.75 liter bottle. That's all it is.
Heaven's Hill vodka, it shouldn't even be on the bottom shelf. It should be on the floor underneath the bottom shelf. That's how bad it is. It's like the bottom shelf. It's like it doesn't even make it onto the shelf. It's just a bottom vodka.
Good lord. Yeah.
It's terrible, dude. I feel like we're like destroying a brand here. But anyways.
Well, the brand destroyed our liver, so it's alright.
It's fucking gross.
But yeah, like that reminded me, dude. I had a similar experience. Well, not all together similar, because this shit actually tastes good, not like that vodka.
Is it the mead thing that you were telling me about before?
Yep.
Yeah, it's the mead thing. Yeah.
The mead is okay. First of all, mead is delicious. You gotta try it. Like, it's so good.
So
like,
how do you make it? What is it made of?
See, that's a secret, because the drink is known as the drink of the gods, the secret drink of druids and gods. So probably there's piss on it.
It's just Valhalla sewer water. Is what it is. Just Valhalla sewer water, because it's the shit that fucking Vikings drank. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Valhalla sewer water is what it is.
But yeah, it's like really sweet. It's basically like honey soda.
Alcoholic honey soda.
Yep, exactly. It's spiked. It's what they would use on the Viking homecoming prom. You know. But
it's I was actually imagining not actually the prom itself, but like imagine if like you're a Viking and you're pulling up with your horse to your girl's place, right, to pick her up for Viking prom, and then you see a fucking your date's Viking redneck father sitting on the lawn in a fucking Viking throne, sitting there with a cup of mead, like, you're gonna take my daughter, you know? Like that's what I was imagining. Like he had just like a fucking cup of Meadweiser, or like some fucking cheap mead version of Budweiser, or like Coors or something.
Yeah.
You're just sitting on the porch in a fucking Viking rocking chair with horns coming out the side.
You better bring her back by the third crow.
Or I'm gonna send my fucking longships out to get you.
I'll drink from your skull.
I'll chase your ass to England.
Yeah.
And that's how England was invaded by the Vikings.
Yeah, this one guy just ran away.
It was mead and homecoming. Mead and homecoming is what caused it.
He ran away scared of his girl's father, and the father just...
Imagine if you're like fucking French and that shit happened, and except the only difference would be that like it wouldn't be mead, it would be wine, and it wouldn't be longboats, it would just be carved out baguettes with like bread spoons just going across the English Channel, just going into England.
No. Like the French are in the baguettes. And they're rowing with baguettes also.
Yeah, it's just
how more French does he get? Really?
Dude. But imagine if like you actually had like a sport where you would make boats out of bread. Like imagine how much sponsorship money Panera would get. Just fucking the bread bowl.
Oh, but France would win that, like, eyes closed. Imagine like Spanish galleons, you know, those big ass boats with like a ton of sails. They would just pick up a croissant and stick a bunch of wood picks in it with sails, and there you go.
I'd fucking die. If I saw a French ship and I saw that the anchor looked like a croissant, I would fucking die, dude. It'd be so fucking funny.
That's what the French Navy guys tattoo on their arms. It's an actual croissant.
It's just a croissant. It's like on one side it's just like a bread, like the shape of the sun, and the other one is just like a fucking it's a moon shaped croissant on the other shoulder. So I have the sun and the moon on my shoulders, but one's a croissant.
Yeah, the other one
croissant.
Is a malasada.
Malasada. That's for Portuguese, dude.
I know.
That's for you people.
Yeah, I mean we're descended from the... Actually, I don't want to say that in public, so let's move along.
Fair enough.
Right.
And
yeah.
Dude, so okay, so we talked about croissants, and that's how. So obviously now we've given people a lesson in history, and they know that that the Viking raids on England started because of the Vikings.
Yeah, William the Conqueror came with the baguette.
Bro, imagine the German ships. They're just like fucking just hot dog buns.
Apple strudel.
Apple strudel. Oh, dude. Oh, shit, dude. Now I know why they made U-boats during World War II. Is because they wanted to make it look like a fucking bratwurst. Ah, shit, dude. Dude, weapons of war were constructed based on the foods of that indigenous culture. 100%. It confirmed. 100%. Dude, come on, man. Like, if you think about it, like, the warship, Yamato, like, you know, like, warships that we made in Japan, dude, 100%, dude, they were based on some sort of Japanese food. It was probably, Oh shit, dude! Actually, there's in Japan there's different types of sushi, right? And so there's one that's a nigiri, which is like just the regular like fish over the top of it, over the top of rice. But there's also one called gunkan, and it's where you have like seaweed wrapped around the side of it, and then you have like it's not seaweed wrapped around the top and over the bottom of it. It's wrapped around horizontally.
Yeah. I'm looking at it.
And gunkan literally just means worship.
Nice.
So, fuck. What came first, the sushi or the fucking worship? Right? I don't know at this point. Gunkan nigiri. I'm curious now. Like, did I get it? Yeah, gunkan. Yeah.
And in a way, they do look a little bit like Yamato ship.
Yeah, they look like little fucking ships. And so, I mean, it makes sense now. Fuck, dude. Actually, we're onto a fucking theory here.
Bring in Alex Jones.
Bring in Alex Jones conspiracy theory.
Mm.
Dude. Fucking, what would the U.S. have then? The U.S. made really great tanks. I don't know, like hamburgers?
The
hamburger tanks?
The stealth fighters look like Doritos.
They do look like Doritos. What the fuck? Yeah, they do actually look like Doritos. Stealth fighters. Holy shit, you're right. Or, fuck, dude. Shit, we gotta revisit this theory. We gotta do some research. Oh, dude.
We're onto something here, man.
Oh, dude, fucking the Koreans were famous for turtle ships, so maybe they ate turtles. Oh, dude, we used to eat turtles too, like in Japan, like a long time ago, like before we were Western civilized, so to speak.
Western
civilized in the Western manner.
Like we eat snails, and that eating turtles can't be worse.
Fair enough. Escargot is a little, yeah. Escargot is like it's the slow food of Europe. It's like the biscuits and gravy of France.
Lord. I'd rather.
But it's a different kind of slow, I suppose.
I'd rather have biscuits and gravy any day.
I've never actually had escargot before. I've never had snails. Is it good? Can it be good?
I don't like it. I had like 5 and was like, this shit is gross.
Butter and garlic, right?
On escargot?
Yeah.
Maybe the fancy escargot. It's very salty. So yeah, you might like it actually. But yeah, it tastes.
Yeah, because I like salty food. Yeah.
It tastes very salty. And then it tastes like insect.
Oh, that's fucking gross. How do you know how an insect tastes like? Been making out with cockroaches or something?
They can't get enough of me.
Speaking of making out, who did you go drink the meat with?
Dude.
Putting you on the spot here.
Yeah, it's pretty big time, but yeah. Just a lady friend, you know? Just
a lady friend.
Just a lady friend, you know? She.
Oh, yeah? Are you gonna take her to prom?
Oh, dude. The Viking type.
She's the Viking type. She's into Vikings. She fell for your beard. That's what it was, dude. The Viking beard that you have.
I don't have it anymore.
Oh, did you shave it?
I did.
Dude. Yeah.
It will grow again.
Come on, dude. That's like you without a beard is like Conor McGregor without his left hand.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Dude. Okay, but
yeah, like
speaking of, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, yeah, she was like always saying like, yeah, we should go to a bar, we should go to like a club or something, we should go. I really want to go to like a beach party, you know. I've never been to one, so. And my broke ass, all that he could say was like, well, would you settle for a medieval fair? And it wasn't even a good one. It's like a neighborhood.
Bro, you slapped her ass back into the Middle Ages.
Yep. Back to the...
Depart from me, you fucking serf. I am your feudal lord. We are gonna go eat muttons and meat.
Muttons.
Fuck.
Muttons.
Muttons and meat. Damn, dude. Well, that's cool though. I mean, like, okay. Honestly, this is my impression. If I were into you more than I already am, then I would but I would appreciate the medieval fair. The reason why is because one, I think it complements your character better because like you could go to a club. Like I know you. You could go to a club. You could have fun there. You could like dance to the rhythm and the music and everything. But I think your vibe is more of a... I think the medieval fair would like fit your vibe better because you like thinking about things. You like immersing yourself in culture and history. And I'm not sure... I think the club is where you go to make history, not study it. You know?
Oh, yeah. Make history and forget it.
Forget about it. Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yep. No. That's very good. Very good point. Yeah. Like,
I think it's called the Guinness World Records for a reason. Is because they're soon forgotten, just like you at the club when you have too much Guinness. I suppose you don't drink Guinness at the club, but you know.
No. But yeah, it makes total sense. Yeah. The club, the pub, dude.
The pub,
dude. I really want to go to like a legit pub, like, you know.
Bro,
with all the lads.
You should have, dude. With all the lads,
all the lads and lasses.
But like, it's actually interesting you say that because the place that I moved to. Okay, so after you left OKC, I moved to an apartment, kind of on the west side of OKC near Lake Hefner, and right down the road from my house was this little pub called was it Sean Cummings Irish Pub, and I would go there all the fucking time. Like, whenever I get back from work and I was like, fuck, I feel like I just need to go out and go do something, I would just go down to the fucking Irish pub and just go have... Well, I had Guinness sometimes, but it fucked my stomach up. Usually I would go and get, like,
green beer?
Like, I might get, like, a cider. Like, I'll get, like, a cider, and then I'll get, is it cabbage and corned beef? Corned beef and cabbage?
Oh.
Oh, it's good shit, man. It's really good shit. But yeah, dude, fucking, I would be so down to go to an Irish pub. I might do that today, actually, now that I think about it. There's one downtown in San Jose. I wonder if they serve food. That sounds delicious. Oh, but dude, I have such a big restriction on food right now because I started the keto diet.
That's right. Yeah, the keto diet, bro.
Bro, it's harsh. And
I bet.
I've only...
Dude.
Okay, so first of all, the keto diet. Let me explain to you. Like, have you? Because do you know exactly what goes into the keto diet?
No, I was gonna say, but no, I have
kind of. Okay, so the basic idea of the keto diet is that it's based on this body function or like the state that your body goes into called ketosis, and what that is that whenever your body is not taking in any carbohydrates, then your body starts burning ketones, which is, if I'm not mistaken, a form of fat cells. So it starts burning your fat cells instead of burning carbohydrates that you usually consume. So what you have to do, the prerequisite for you to start to go into ketosis is that you have to start consuming fats and proteins and almost no carbohydrates. I think it was like 15 grams and less or something. So I usually count the amount of grams I'm intaking. But so what I've been doing like for these past 2 weeks, because I've been on this diet for about 2 weeks, is I've been eating mostly just beef and avocados and almond butter. And those three things, like the beef is necessary because it has a really high percentage of fat and also has a really high percentage of protein too. It has both of those. And avocados also have a high percentage of fat, but it also has fiber, which is really great so that because if you had just beef, then it would get you constipated, and you don't want that. And so that's why you have to have the fiber. And then with almond butter, it also gives you a lot of fiber, and then gives you a lot of protein and fats as well. So it gives you like all three of those balanced. And so my diet has consisted mainly of those three things, and then whiskey, because whiskey has no carbohydrates, nothing in it. It's just alcohol and flavor, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
but doesn't the whiskey affect your metabolism or anything?
It might affect my metabolism, but it won't affect the ketosis thing. So it might temporarily slow my metabolism. Just because alcohol, I'm not sure how alcohol exactly works. I wouldn't be able to. It might affect my metabolism temporarily, but I don't think it would affect my metabolism for the overall keto diet. I don't think it would kick me out of ketosis, which is ketosis, which is that's the big part, is that you don't want to be kicked out of ketosis. Like if I had a can of Coca-Cola, then that would kick me out of ketosis.
Yeah, exactly. All those carbs and sugars, the calories, etc. Yeah,
exactly. And so it's been really hard, man. It's like I've been cooking like stuff daily so that I can, I've been cooking things so that it can conform to this keto diet.
Yeah.
Now, I'm also not like I don't feel like I'm overweight or anything. I'm in decent shape. I'm a little bit skinny, I think, but what I do want to do with this keto diet is I want to shred as much as possible, and I want to start going to the gym so that I can basically replenish the amount of weight that I lost in terms of fat, and then substitute it for muscles. Because the thing is, like, I don't want to be like a big bro kind of guy. Like, I'm not into the whole like being huge as fuck thing, but I do want to look healthy, right? I want to look like it would nice to be a little bit cut. And so what I want to do with this keto diet is I want to lose all the fat, and then I just want to gain a little bit of muscle. It doesn't have to be a whole bunch. And then I think that would be a good look for me, because I think that would fit me the best. I don't have to be huge. I don't have to be like the fucking Rock.
Yeah, but a little bit more toned, a little bit more, just lean, defined muscle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a very worthy goal. It's just like make the most of what you currently have, and like take out all the bad parts. So like, as you're saying, the body fat percentage, lower it down to as much as you can, and and we get the good stuff in, the protein, the fats to compensate for that lack of carbohydrates that you're not taking.
That's exactly right. Because fat has more, like fat has more calories per gram than carbohydrates do. So you have to consume a lot of fats. Yeah. Which that's another part of the keto diet, is that people think that it's a high protein diet, which it is. You do consume more proteins, but you're basically substituting the fat for the calorie count for the most part. So like, the fat for the carbohydrates. So like, if you're consuming like, if you were consuming like 2 parts, let's say like 2 parts fats and then 2 parts proteins and then like 6 parts carbohydrates, well then you'd want to change to like maybe like 7 parts fats and then like 3 parts proteins, basically. You almost want to completely cut out carbohydrates. You can still have some, but like not very much.
Yeah, and try to go with like when going with fats and stuff. It's important that we take like the good kind of fats, like
healthy fats.
Yeah, the healthy fats, the unsaturated fats. So yeah, and it's your diet is really conditioned though, right? Because on top of this ketosis thing, you're also striving. You also have to be very careful with gluten-free foods as well. So it's two things restricting your diet.
It is, yeah, definitely. It is two things restricting my diet. Now, I will say there is a bunch of overlap though, because gluten comes from like wheat, rye, and barley, yeah? And so whenever I consume like wheat, rye, and barley are all carbohydrates. They're all grains of a type, right?
Yeah.
And so they're carbohydrates, and I had to cut them out already, right? Because if I don't cut them out, then I feel like shit. I feel like absolute shit because it affects me. It makes me feel really terrible. And so I've already cut out like those kinds of carbs, so it was really easy because I didn't have to like quit bread because I had already quit bread. And then same thing with like donuts. I can't eat donuts, bread. Can't really drink beer. I can drink like gluten-free beer, but it doesn't taste the same, you know? And so
Gotcha.
I already cut out so much that it was like, okay, well, what would I have to cut out if I were to do the keto diet? And I was thinking I would cut out corn and rice, basically. Corn, rice, and potatoes.
Goddamn.
I mean, like, and the thing is, you know, like potatoes, like French fries, yeah, I miss them quite a bit. And then like corn, like yeah, I love Doritos and shit, but they make you feel like ass anyways.
Yeah,
when you have them.
But
the
rice.
Hardest one was rice.
Right.
Hardest one was rice for me because I'm from the rice country.
Yeah,
bro. I'm from the rice part of the world.
Yeah, it's like if I stopped eating bread, you know, I would slowly start withering. It's like
you just fade into nothingness.
It's like the Portuguese would soon leave my body, and I'd just get the Jew. And
you just start growing beards and sideburns.
Yeah, start eating hummus. Hummus instead.
They even Jews eat matzah too. Matzah is basically just bread without yeast in a soup.
Okay, so like the flat, the really flat bread. Is that it?
No, it's so matzah is basically like it's just bread dough, right? But without the yeast, and you turn that dough into like a ball. It's almost like a meatball, but it's like flour dough. And then you put that in like a clear soup, and then you have that. I've never actually had matzo ball soup before, but it's like a Jewish staple.
Matzo ball.
Matzo ball soup. Yeah. It looks kind of like a fishball soup that you see like in like Eastern countries.
Ah, I see. Oh, but bread in soup.
Yeah, bread and soup, but it's like it's not. See, it sounds gross because like, you know, if you actually put like just bread in soup and then you started having it.
We have that. Actually, that's it.
I was gonna say actually that people do that, huh? Because like French onion soup, for example, like you'll have bread on the top of it.
But, it's actually a very popular thing here in Portugal to like soup and bread. Or sometimes it's just like wine on bread. A soup of.
You put wine on bread? Just wine on bread?
It's actually more like bread on wine. It's.
Oh. Huh.
It's. I guess it's like when you have sauce, like in Italian dishes, when you have like sauce left on the plate, and you just kind of dip bread with it, and that's how you like clean it up. Here,
you mop it up with bread.
Sorta. I think that's how it started, and then it evolved into a dish of its own. It's like this is now a thing: a bowl of wine with pieces of bread soaked in. You know.
And you just eat the bread?
Yeah, they just eat it like it's a fucking soup. Although I think nowadays people put some more stuff into it, like they add some more things, you know, so it's a little more consistent. You
know what? If you put bread inside of wine and just float it in there, does that mean that you just made Jesus? Because eat of my flesh, drink of my blood, eat of my flesh. So the thing is, the flesh and the blood are both there. So that's just Jesus. That's Jesus in the bowl.
Yeah, if you're Catholic.
If you're Catholic, yeah, that's Jesus before it pre-consumption Jesus is what it is.
Yeah,
it becomes the blood once it enters your body, as some Catholics believe.
Yeah, See, that's a tough word to say.
Transubstantiation.
Goddamn. But yeah.
That's the one, right? That's the word, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a hard word.
But yeah.
And a lot more common belief than a lot of people would think.
I don't know. Personally, I think it's a part of the doctrine that is kind of hard to justify with modern day ethics, because essentially
it is really hard to justify.
Yeah, it's like you're kind of practicing cannibalism if you really go with that.
Yeah. Which there's a lot of fucking like biblical reasons why, and like I could see a lot of like professors at OC like giving like theories and like telling us the reason why, like it's like the whole you have to physically eat of the flesh of Christ and drink of the blood of Christ. Ooh, that's a terrible voice crack.
Yeah, well,
blood of Christ
compels you.
The blood of Christ compels you.
Dude, not gonna lie, if I had to eat someone, I would eat Jesus, because he actually offered to do so. But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, cannibalism is okay sometimes, right? Especially if you're a starving football team in the middle of the Andes Mountains that came out of a crashed plane.
Yeah. Which
you know that story, right?
To be fair, it used to be a very common practice in that region, so right.
It's the Andes is a lot more south. I'm not sure if they would have been cannibals, but in Latin America, especially in the north, in present day Central America, and then Mexico, where
the Aztecs,
the Mayas, and like people like that lived. Yes, that was a common practice, I believe.
I know that it was very prevalent in indigenous tribes in Brazil, like the whole idea of
was it?
Yeah, because they believed that by like eating certain organs of like officers, enemy military officers and generals and stuff, they would get their attributes, their skills, so like
interesting,
like their valor or their tactical intelligence. I don't know.
Huh? So you just like absorb their skill sets basically by eating their organs.
Yeah, that was the idea. Is like if I eat this guy, I'm gonna get his pros, his qualities.
Well, in a primitive, commonsensical kind of way that makes sense. Because the thing is, like, okay, well, this person is this, and if I eat him, then I will have him in my body. Therefore, I mean, because you are what you eat, right? So the thing is, like, that's like the first practice of you are what you eat. Like,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
You ate the enemy general, and you became as good as the enemy general. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, you added his strength to yours.
That's really interesting. You said it was. You know what like group of people it was?
I think like the Tupi, Guarani tribes of Brazil, but I'm not like 100% sure. But
it says Tupi.
Tupi, like Tupi.
Yeah. Indigenous to Brazil before colonization, scholars believe that while they settled in the Amazon rainforest from about 2,900 years ago, Tupi started to migrate southward and gradually occupied the Atlantic coast of southeast Brazil. Southeast Brazil, cannibalism? Yeah. Oh, here's a little bit on cannibalism. Let's read it a little bit. So the Tupi were divided into several tribes, which would constantly engage in war with each other. In these wars, the Tupi would normally try to capture their enemies to later kill them in cannibalistic rituals. Yep, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I guess it's not like it was part of their regular diet. You know, it was a very...
it's like a holy thing for them.
It's a very ceremonial thing, but
it wasn't like they were just having like a casual human steak at the pub. It's kind of like, hallowed be thy name, partner. I don't know, like some shit like where like there's like a specific reverence that they have towards the person that gave up the meat that they're consuming so they can have the skills. That's what it sounds like. Am I dramatizing and like idealizing cannibalism? I hope not.
No. I think you're right. I think some accounts.
I don't eat people on a regular basis. just to clarify.
In some accounts, like if you were captured alive to then be executed and eaten, you would be treated well until you were executed, of course. Like you were there against your will, but in the meantime you were treated like an honored guest or something.
Because you were an honored guest because you served a specific purpose.
Yeah, the purpose being
being eaten.
Yeah, the next meal.
Yeah, the Last Supper. It is literally the Last Supper. Dude, do you want to go ahead and take a break now?
For sure, man. Yeah, let's do it.
Right, cool. That about let's wrap up the episode here. Guys, if you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe to our YouTube channel and go and follow us at Twitter at Broklahomies. You can see the name, anywhere. But there on Instagram, we're also on LinkedIn, we're on Patreon if you want to support us, but don't feel pressured to, and we'll have a new podcast out for you next week.